Rise and shine, my beautiful souls. This topic that I'm going to get into has been sitting with me, and so much I would like to add. But first and foremost, I thought the lion would be so form-fitting, and not because of me being a Leo, but most importantly, when I think of a lion, I think of a lion that is strong, that is resilient, that is powerful. And it was so form fitting for what I'll be talking about today, how powerful it is to stand in your power, to know who you are. And I never really fully grasped and understood how powerful I really am. And I hope today this gives you insight. I hope that it makes you even look at your own life and see how powerful you are. So a lot of these self-reflecting, I like it because it really puts life and things in perspective. And sometimes we can forget in our day-to-day lives when we get up and we have this routine. And I always tell myself I never want to get lost in a routine, that I forget who I am at the end of the day. If you guys have checked out the last two audios, thank you so much. The feedback has been great and amazing. And now we are going to enter in standing in your power. And how powerful it really is. I believe that when we go through life, we never really know who we truly, really are. As we get older, each and every single time we go through something, it is the moment of self-reflection is where we're able to sit, reflect, take a moment, digest what is even happening, what is even going on. And for so long, I can say that I've been operating my life on an emotional standpoint versus logical. And the self-discovery and what I love on this journey of not only learning who I am, which I'm pretty amazing, and it took a while to get there, to really know deep down who I really am. And I encourage you, beautiful souls, if you haven't, to just really dig deep and to really spend some time within, to really have the self-discovery. When I go through this journey of life, it's so easy for us to look at all the things that we have went through in the negative aspect. And we focus so much on that. And then, we glorify it and we're excited about the good things, but we really hold on to the negative aspects of what has held us back. And we don't realize that we do hold ourselves back by holding on to things. One of the biggest things that I am still learning, and I say learning because when you're evolving and growing through what you go through, I realized that when I take a moment and I self-reflect and I ask myself, is this how I wanted this to go? And what I mean, like, if I wanted this to go, it's like whenever you're ending, I don't want to say, well, whenever you're ending a friendship, a relationship, any aspect that is going to take a toll on your life, I always like go back to the scenario and I always like play both sides of it and just really see how I handle it on my end. And I want you guys to really get to a place where you're very content with the decisions that you make. I know that I was having a conversation with one of my passengers the other day, and you know, this is why I really love what I do, honestly, because any chance that I get to the youth, because I know God is using me, I'm able to spread some of my wisdom and growth, and it means a lot to me, just like I'm able to do that here on this platform. So with that being said, so the young kid was talking to me and he was telling me, he was like, wow, you're pretty brave. And in my mind, I didn't think, I just thought that that was just like nothing, you know, to go to the movies by yourself, to go to dinner by yourself, to have self-alone time, to, you know, do self-picnics and, you know, take hikes and do fun things or things that you like, but you do it by yourself. You don't always have to have an army of people or anyone around you. And a lot of those solitude moments are awesome. And sometimes I take God with me on those moments because it's a journey that really fills my soul. And I guess that's why I don't really like too many people around me, or I'm not a person that needs to be around people day to day when it comes to like being in my personal space. So in saying that and understanding and reflecting, I could go back to a time, and when he was talking, I could go back to a time when I remembered I wouldn't eat alone. I wouldn't dare go to the movies by myself. I wouldn't dare be seen anywhere by myself. It's like I needed someone around me all the time. I was very codependent without even realizing it. Fast forward, as I'm getting older, and I don't want to say getting old, that word, getting more wiser and growth is, now it's like second nature. Now it's like something I prefer. I really, really, really enjoy my own company. And that's why it's so important to like spend solitude moments. And I was like just explaining that to him, and he was just like, yeah, one day I'm gonna, you know, get out of that fear. And I think that's what it is. It's like fear holds us back all the time from our full potential. And so if you're ever wondering, like, do I spend enough time alone? Here's your opportunity. Here's your time to really gift yourself that. The self-discovery is out of this world. And I say that to say, yesterday, and I wasn't even going to talk about it, but why not? Because it is a testimony. It is part of my journey, my life, my spiritual growth. And yesterday was the day. And I say that to say that no matter what was coming in front of me, like God just kept coming. He just kept coming. He kept showing up. Now, the biggest thing that happened out of all of my day, which I really, really love how I handle being in this situation. I don't know if you guys ever locked your keys in the car while the car was running. Yeah, that was me yesterday. I take full accountability and experience. And you know what? In the heat of the moment, because it was very hot, it's so easy to just blame somebody else. It was because somebody else. It was because I went to go check. It was, but at the end of the day, I had to really self-reflect. Like, I really left those keys in there. And my car automatically will lock. The keys are running. When the keys are running, in the car running, the doors will lock if you close the door. I mean, they locked so fast. It was like, and then it was so hot yesterday. And I think normally I would probably, I don't know, not be how calm I was yesterday. So, just explain a little bit what happened. So with that happening, my daughter got out of the car. She closed the door. She kept talking about childproof lock. And I really didn't, I have childproof locks, but I didn't do them. I didn't like set them. So when it didn't dawn on me that she didn't allow me to unlock the doors. So she just manually let herself out the car. So when I did all of that and closed my door too confidently, I realized the keys was in there. And yesterday, I want to tell you guys, like, and I was working and I was hot, distraughted, just wanted to change, take a shower. Everyone I was stopping kept walking away from me. No one stopped, right? And I had a meeting to go to, which of course I was trying to be presentable, and that did not work. And you know, so many times we get so lost in what we should look like in meetings and things and scenarios and situations, and first impressions are everything. I truly believe. But this individual, she actually got to see me in a different light, an authentic light, me and my natural habitat, and most importantly, my faith. My faith in God is so strong. And oh my God, I'm getting teared up just thinking about yesterday. Her faith is strong. So I called, people were telling me to call the cops, call 911. I called 911, called the cops. No one came because they said unless a dog or a baby is locked in the car, they're not going to come. And neither of those things were happening. Everything you could think of. I had a low gas tank, so I was worried about running out of gas, the motor messing up my engine. It was just so much going on. The only good thing is that it didn't have the air on because we had the windows rolled down, so I had rolled the windows up. But then I thought about how hot it was inside the car with the car running. And it was 85 degrees. And where I am is not the normal 85 degrees, okay? If you know, you know. But they don't call where I am what it is. I almost said where I was, but I like to be discreet. Personal reasons. But yeah, so I'm sitting here, I'm talking with the lady, and she's like, don't worry about it. She was so thoughtful. She let my daughter be in her car with the air on. It was just like extremely hot. When I tell you, like, this lady stayed with me, we just kept praying. We just kept getting shut down by people. I kid you not, for at least 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I went to business establishments. I had no money in my pocket. Like nothing. Like probably $2 and some change in my pocket. That was it. Because I had just paid for something. And I was just about to get ready to go home, and none of that. I was like, oh, I'm taking the night off. I had worked the morning. Like, I had all these plans to pick up my daughter. We're going to grab food, snacks. We're going to watch movies. We're going to do this. And I'm going to have a night. So finally, it's something that she said. She was like, just approach this person individually. Now, in the back of my mind is a voice saying, like, don't even bother, because you've been stopping people left and right for like 45 minutes and no one has stopped for you. You have talked to people and no one has said that they could help you. No one had a hammer. Nobody had nothing. None with a hanger. Nothing. Nothing was available. This is when activating your faith becomes so strong. I literally was like, Father God, I know you didn't bring me all the way here to leave me. You said you would never leave me nor forsaken me. Like, I was quoting scriptures and going back and forth with God in my mind. And not in a malicious way, not yelling at him, not just literally like Father, like calling my Father, my Heavenly Father. Because I knew he was the only one to get me out of here. And the lady, her faith was so strong. She was like, this is the guy. This is going to be the guy that's going to help us. And I'm looking at her and I'm seeing a toolbox and I'm like in the back of his truck and I'm like, okay. Like, she was so sure. She was so certain. She just was like, it's going to be him. It's going to be him. So I said, okay. I was a little skeptical. I'm not even going to lie. But that certainty that she had, I knew God was using her to just calm me down and to really get me reconnected. So call the guy over. He comes. He brings his whole truck. Mind you, his wife sent him to the dollar store to grab some stuff. So he didn't even second guess it. He brought his car over. He began immediately working on my vehicle, trying his hardest not to harm my car in any which way. He knows I use my car for work. And I thought it was very thoughtful. And in my mind, I'm thinking I got to break the window. I got to pay for another window again. I'm not going to be able to do this job. I'm going to have to do this job. Like, all these scenarios was going in my mind and there was too much. And I am so thankful to this lady, again, who remains anonymous because she was like an angel. She definitely was helping me to not do it. And when I tell you guys, I really hit my window. It did not break. Like, I hit it. It did not break. It did not crack. It did not budge. It didn't do nothing. You can't tell me God is not real. You cannot tell me that he was not protecting me yesterday. Cannot tell me that. And then all of a sudden I hear two voices coming and they're talking to the man. Now, this man, I kid you not, I really thought he was like from Japan. Somewhere, right? Because he had his shades and everything. He started speaking Spanish. I didn't even know he knew Spanish. So then these two other guys come. Two other Mexican guys, they come. They're talking to him because they see he's trying to get into the door. So they proceed to come and immediately, no questions asked, start helping him. So now he went from one person to three people. And I'm literally like, the guy is going back and forth. He's like trying because he knows he doesn't have all of his tools. And he's like, I just wish I had this. I would need this, this, and this. So he said, I'm going to go into the dollar store to see what else I could find. Mind you, I literally was like, I went to this dollar store. There's nothing you can find. So he goes into the store. And I'm telling you, these men were working on my car in this heat. I'm talking about humidity, no air. Sun was beaming right up on my car. There was no shade. Watching these men and God talking to me the whole entire time. It was very moving just to see men literally have nothing and start scavenging around. All of a sudden, you just see these men walking from this place. And it was a big, big parking lot because it had like 3 other stores there. All of a sudden, they were like, we need metal hangers. And I'm like, well, we're not going to find any metal hangers. Guys, why were there 2 metal hangers by the tree? Like, they weren't there before. I want you to understand they weren't there before. Like, God placed 2 metal hangers. He did because they weren't there. And they found everything, and there was just nothing. These men were so determined to get in that car. There was nothing stopping them. They didn't feel defeated. They didn't feel like, oh my God, we can't do it. They were so determined and driven. and to watch God move and to watch them work the way they did, I know God sent these 3 men. And it just reminded me of, like, in the Bible. And I'm just watching and watching and watching. And the other guy, who the first guy I stopped, he's determined. I mean, this man literally walked across the street, which is in a huge parking lot. And if you know Sam's Club, you know, those parking lots are huge. This man was in the heat, okay? Walking around. These 2 men, determined. And I say, like, 4 minds are so much better than 1, because me and the lady, and we're thinking, and we're like, oh, I have this button that you can roll the window down. Then there's another button where you can unlock it, instead of, because I have a 2014, so instead of, like, trying to, like, you know, back in the day you could push the lock, I didn't have one of those. When I tell you, she was like, this is it. I couldn't watch. It was so cringy, guys. It was so cringy. Mind you, I didn't eat all day. I wanted ice cold water. I had ice cold water, guys. It was in my car. Everything you could think of. So I walk away. I'm pacing. I'm talking to God. I'm pacing, talking to God, going in the tree, just breathing, just relax. Super calm. I want you to understand, as calm as could be. You couldn't get this out of me before. When I heard her scream, and when I saw that door open, I wanted to fall to the floor. I wanted to fall to the floor. It was about 5:30. The tank had dropped to at least 46. Mind you, my car had been running for 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. Now the gas tank was on 56 miles. It dropped to 43. And all I could think about, if I had the air on, that would have been worse. But thank God I didn't have the air on. I thank these men for their hard work, their determination. I had no money. They were so gracious. They were so just there to help me. And then they just disappeared in the light. I swear to you, and I kid you, I never saw those men again. I immediately prayed and thanked these men, and when the other guy came back, I told him, I said, everything worked. I stayed around. I gave him his tools. I gave him everything that he was using, and grateful that we didn't have to break a window. We didn't call no AAA because I didn't have any money for AAA, and I don't know why I did not add that to my insurance policy, which now you know that I will. And the moral of this story is, this is why it's so important to know exactly who you are and build your faith very, very strong, because when man denies you, your Father will never deny you, ever. And he will always put the right people in your life at the right time to do exactly what he wanted and what you needed. And it was in that moment that I could have given up, and I didn't. And I say that to say, there's so many times in our lives where we feel like giving up. There's so many times that we really believe some of the negative things in our thoughts play over and over, and we believe the things that people say about us. And this is why, my beautiful souls, this message was so powerful, and I had to share it because I was like, this is a testimony and it has to be on my platform. I have to share it with my beautiful souls. I have to tell someone this story, and may it help you, may it inspire you, and may it comfort you to know that God never left you or forsaken you. And even in your life, and you may feel that he's gone from you, or he has just left you in the midst of your storm, he hasn't. He's waiting for you. Because even in the scripture when he says he never leave you nor forsaken you, God never said that we would never be exempt from our pain, our problems, our trials and tribulations. He said that he would be right there with us and walk us through it. And so, my beautiful souls, this is why standing in your power and knowing who you are is so powerful. Because then when you know who you are, you know who your Father is. You know who created you, and you learn your Creator. Then you start to know who you are. Then you start to have that peace. That no matter what you're faced, and please be aware, you will be faced with every and anything, but he will be right there with you. And I think that's why I can move in a way of confidence that no matter what I'm up against, I make sure to keep God right there, front and center, every single time. So as I take this moment to just let you know, don't get discouraged. When you feel defeated, when you feel powerless, when you feel hopeless, just remember this story. You can go back. If you haven't heard and listened to testimony, I think I dropped that like 3 years ago. I encourage you to listen to it. I think it's called Testimony or Confessions. I will have more about that. But I just thought it was so form-fitting to just put this on here and to really share with you guys and anyone who is struggling and battling with self-discovery, with knowing who they are, or just standing in their power. When you know who you are and you're standing in your power, not only do you make the best decisions that are for you, don't question or second guess it. And understand if God is closing doors, it's so the better ones can open. If people are leaving your life and walking away from you, it's so that better people can come in. And I don't want to say better people, but the right people. Never lose hope. Never give up. Your life is so powerful, and you're worthy, and you're resilient, and you're meant to be here. And just like the Father created me, he created you. And remember, he created you in his image. Don't lose hope in the midst of the storm. Don't let the enemy win. Don't let your mind, don't believe, because we can get in the way of our own destiny. Allow God to seep into your heart. Let him in and watch him change your life. Thank you so much, my beautiful souls. It was such a very powerful and an emotional, and as I relive yesterday, it really just touched me. And it really opened my heart to continue to want to share and open up about the most vulnerable things in my life. And that is my purpose and what God put me here today, because I know my voice is powerful and I know who I am is very powerful. With that being said, my beautiful souls, thank you so much for listening. And let's remember to spread more love and less hate.